white person like myself, I never heard anybody...
Empathy gap. White supremacy doesn't just divide people by race. It divides them by worth. Not always through overt slurs and policies, but through quiet patterns. Assumptions, headlines, silences, and systems. It is a culture built on invisible ledgers, tallying who deserves softness, safety, care, and who must prove themselves worthy of it over and over and over again. I'm going to go back to that for a second. I want to make sure y'all understanding that. Within white supremacy, you'll notice that racist people also have an entire group of fellow white people that are not worthy. And you'll hear them discuss them. So it doesn't just divide by race. Just emphasize that. When worth is hierarchy, empathy becomes conditional. We don't just ask, are you hurting? We ask, do you deserve my concern? The ranking system is nothing new. Under slavery, black suffering wasn't just ignored, it was disqualified. White women's tears were protected, black women's screams were punished. White men's honors were defended, black men's dignity was denied. There wasn't just physical control, it was emotional programming. Society was trained to believe whose pain mattered and whose did not. So black people learned empathy must be earned. Speak the right way. Grieve the right way. Protest the right way. Pain must be packaged. Rage must be edited. Truth must be softened. If we express ourselves without translation, we risk being dismissed or punished. That paragraph, when I first read it, I got stuck on grieve the right way. Obviously, grief is a huge part of my profession. And people grieve differently. And I love my fellow professionals, I really do. And I love my beloved profession, and I think very highly of it. And it will be Katie bar the door if you want to come at me about it, as many of you have witnessed on this app. But within my cohorts, fellow professionals, they will inadvertently, subconsciously divide themselves into people they prefer to care for and people they don't. And it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with not liking them or racism or anything. Most often it doesn't. I'm sure there's some cases like that out there. But it's about the way people grieve. White people primarily are brought up to be stoic in the face of death. Stoic. And somewhere along the lines they went from stoic to dismissive. Almost if you keep pretending that it's just a death, that it's just a normal part of life, right? Because it is. And you just maintain stoic, like it's somehow a shortcut through grief. And it's not, people. It's not. And the unfortunate consequences of that is that people will get slapped with grief, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, 10 years down the line, and they will be utterly clueless as to what is going on with them. Emotions just falling out of them, extreme mood swings. And oftentimes it takes a lot for them to realize that it's grief. You feel in this way about your world because somebody that stabilized your world is not there anymore, and you held it together as long as you can, and now you're falling apart. Right? So people can be raised to be comfortable with that stoic approach to grief. So they don't do good in, whether it's an individual family or whether it's a cultural thing, with people that are outwardly expressive of grief. Whatever it looks like. It can really look like wailing. Like they're literally in there wailing. And you can hear them all the way down the hallways in the funeral home, into your office even, you know. And for other people, it can be just like an incredible celebration of the joy that someone has passed on to what their faith says is a grand world. And they're truly celebrating that. And people that were brought up with that stoic quietness, they can't handle that. They feel like the funeral and the services are out of control. You know, and they're really not. They're not out of control. Not at all. This shapes how we see ourselves. When the world treats empathy as something to be earned, not owned, it distorts our self-image. We question our needs. We downplay our exhaustion. We feel guilt for needing help, shame for needing space. Empathy doesn't feel like a right. It feels like a privilege that could be revoked at any moment. This is why white people who challenge racism are often punished, not just by systems, but by friends, family, workplaces. They're called too emotional, too soft, and disloyal. Because in a hierarchy, empathy is dangerous. It erodes boundaries. It levels the playing field. It says this person is fully human too. And that is a threat to any system built on someone being less. The Empathy Gap. Available on Amazon. It's a good book. I hope you'll join me with your own. But I'm happy to keep reading to you.